Hi, so I'm sharing on thyroid. So this is thyroid part 2. If you missed the previous video, you can have a look at that on our YouTube channel at the New School of Nutritional Medicine. So just a quick recap, in the first video, I mentioned about thyroid health and not being gland centric. So it's important to be aware of what we call the systems biology approach, which means that every cell, every organ, every tissue in the body hears other parts of the body. So no organ is disconnected from another one. So when you're diagnosed with underactive thyroid, you want to ask questions about, well, why? Why do I have this underactive thyroid? Is it really a levothyroxine deficiency? Levothyroxine is T4. It's the inactive form of the thyroid hormone. There's a very small part of it that's active, but it's generally inactive, and it has to get converted to the active form, which is T3. So today I wanted to talk about the connection between the adrenals and the thyroid. So sometimes we think, right, I've got underactive thyroid, I need to support my thyroid. So some people start taking kelp, other people might taking other kind of minerals, cofactors that support thyroid health. We're still focusing on the thyroid. Imagine you're living in an era, in a time when you're stressed, or when you've just had a new baby, or when you're going to work and then you're coming home, going to school, picking up the kids from after school club, coming home, cooking the dinner. Then after dinner, you wash up, then you put the kids to bed, read them a story. Then one of them decides, no, he's not going to go, or she's not going to go to bed. They want another story, or they have a tantrum. Imagine doing that day after day. Okay. And then you're diagnosed with an underactive thyroid. And then for that underactive thyroid, you're prescribed levothyroxine. Is it really a thyroid issue, or is it the daily grind, the running around, the stressing out of the HPA axis? HPA is hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal. The last video I did was talking about the thyroid axis, okay, so which is the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid. So you have the HPT, hypothalamus, pituitary, and thyroid, and you have the HPA, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal. And if you recognize, there's the hypothalamus and the pituitary in both of them, okay? So when the HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis, is dysregulated, stress, lack of sleep, eating on the go, not eating well, running on adrenaline, up and down of blood sugar levels, so things like insulin resistance, so living on carbohydrates, having those spikes, all that can create a dysregulated HPA axis. Now, when your HPA axis is dysregulated, that means your body's sensing danger or threat. And depending on how long that's been going on for, it doesn't mean that you have to feel threatened and you have to have sweaty palms. It's just everybody experiences this very differently. When that is happening, a dysregulated HPA axis can send signals to the HPT axis, the thyroid, that all is not well here. I need to go into survival mode or freeze mode, depends on where you're at, how long it's been going on for you. So cleverly, the body, okay, will make, so from that T4, instead of getting T3, which is your active thyroid hormone, you can get reverse T3 instead of T3, or you still might have plenty of T3, but you have higher levels of reverse T3. Now, reverse T3 is basically the same T3, but with one of the iodines, so 3 is 3 iodines, one of those iodines on reverse T3 are in a different position to the iodine on T3. Now, the body doesn't do that because it's just gone faulty and it has nothing better to do. It's creating reverse T3 to slow you down. Okay, it's not right. Okay, I'm going to get my my full profile thyroid panel blood test, which is TSH, T3, T4, free T3, free T4, the thyroid, the antibodies to the thyroglobulin, and TPO, which is an enzyme, thyroid peroxidase enzyme, and reverse T3. So sometimes when people see that reverse T3, they try to bring it down by supplements, give adrenal support supplements, and everything will be okay. The body doesn't work like that. In the 21st century, people tend to have a dysregulated HPA axis. And that dysregulated HPA axis is then going to send messages, subliminal messages even, to the rest of the body saying, okay, we have a fire here that we need to sort out so everything else can slow down. So that reverse T3 is produced for a reason. Okay, so that doesn't mean you have a pack load of adrenal supplements or you give adrenal sarcode, for example, adrenal cortex in homeopathic form. It means we want to address the HPA axis. What's really going on for the person? So in comes integrative life coaching. Through the life coaching, our students at the new school will ask questions. What is it that's going on for that person? And it's not just about, okay, well, let's give you some lifestyle changes. Do some grounding in the morning, wake up and make sure you look at, out natural daylight and not switching on your mobile phone. Before you go to bed, make sure now before you go to bed, switch your mobile phone off, switch off all screens. These are to-do lists. Lots of people can do these to-do lists for what? A few weeks, a few months, and then back to where they started. So what is it about human behavior? Why do we find it hard to make these changes? So do we have a big enough why to make these changes? How much do we want to get healthy? If you want to take supplements and you want to take supplements for the rest of your life and not address that dysregulated HPA axis, which also means lifestyle, which also means the limbic system, because if you've got the hypothalamus, pituitary, and either adrenals or the thyroid, and the adrenals could be telling the thyroid to slow down, shut down, slow down, stuff going on here we need to address. Don't care about fertility, don't care about hair growth, don't care about the condition of your skin, don't care about weight loss, weight gain. So what your adrenals are doing, they're keeping you in survival mode. They're looking after you. Now, above that hypothalamus, okay, the HPA axis or the HPT axis, above that hypothalamus, you've got the limbic system. The limbic system is this whole amazing system, amygdala, frontal cord, all sorts of organs are in there. That limbic system is what we address when we're looking at a person with our coaching lens. We don't even go down to the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, or even hypothalamus, pituitary, gonadal system, which is the ovaries and the testes. We stay at this limbic system. So we look at people's behavioral changes, fight or flight, the prefrontal cortex. Is it that they're in this amygdala state where the prefrontal cortex can't think straight because it thinks it's gone offline and everything else is now in this kind of 21st century state of fight, flight, do. And then at the end of the evening, put your feet up, have a glass of wine and scroll on the mobile phone or put on the Netflix. There's no judgment here. This is just an explanation that we are not at the new school gland-centric or even system-centric. We look at the whole person. So we're also looking at the neurobiology of stress. We're also looking at that whole limbic system, which is that area which seems to be very popular now, and everybody's talking about nervous system dysregulation, how to somatic healing, etc. But really, when we integrate the nutritional medicine with the coaching and we see somebody comes in that's got a thyroid issue, we're not going to see as T3, T4, just the blood tests. We go behind that. What's going on for the person? So if you're listening to this and you've got thyroid issues, have you ever considered that it may just simply be your lifestyle, simply be the lack of sleep? There might be a sense of danger, a subconscious sort of message of danger, not feeling safe. And also, people say that, oh yeah, when they've got underactive thyroid, they've got brain fog and they can't think straight, their memory isn't great. But if you think about it, if your limbic system, if there's this fight or alert going on, your prefrontal cortex has gone offline, and therefore your body is not going to think, oh, memory is important. Oh, why did I put my keys in the washing machine? Okay, so those sort of happenings, those incidences can be due to the limbic system having a huge role, playing a huge role in what we call further downstream events. So when addressing the thyroid, we're not only looking at your thyroid, we're not only looking at the hypothalamus or the pituitary, we're looking at the adrenal, the HP adrenal axis, but we're also going and looking at the limbic system. Limbic system meaning our integrative life coaching approach. So I hope that's been helpful. And also that explains why sometimes some people feel much better after they've had several coaching sessions and they realize their thyroid symptoms are improving. And this is simply from talking to somebody who knows about coaching and listening to them and being able to work with your limbic system, your nervous system, your whole person, the whole you, without any agenda, without any preconceived ideas, and without even thinking, right, this person is coming in for thyroid issues, we're going to just focus on the thyroid. We're focusing on the whole person. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. I will do a part 3, and with part 3, I'm going to actually cover the autoimmune side of thyroid health. So it's not just going to be thyroid, okay? Because I've said before, we're not just gland-centric and we're not system-centric. We look at the whole person. So from the last month's lecture or webinar or quick video, it was about the thyroid itself. Today, I'm explaining how we see the body working and how for us, we're bringing in coaching, integrative life coaching, because we're looking at the limbic system as well. Because some people might be eating well, they might be doing the exercise, they might be doing the meditation, they may be doing the yoga and all that, the grounding and everything else. And then suddenly they might be having a diagnosis of underactive thyroid or an autoimmune condition. Have you ever considered that it might be that whole above the hypothalamus, the limbic system area with the nervous system that are working in unison, sending messages to the body saying, actually, I want you to address that black and white mindset, or that mindset of this is the way it's done, or that rigidity, or whatever else might be going on. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. And in part 3, we will dive into autoimmune type conditions, but how we look at them at the New School of Nutritional Medicine from that integrative approach of nutrition medicine, so that functional medicine type of approach, but with looking at the whole person, the life coaching, alongside looking at the food on your plate. Okay. So hopefully this has been helpful, and please post your comments and any questions you have in relation to what we're going to be covering in video 3. And if you've got any questions on autoimmune conditions, specifically Hashimoto's or Graves', which are specifically linked to thyroid health.